Hello, I'm here in Green Lawn Cemetery in rural Swanville, Maine, and I spent about a month and a half documenting this cemetery on Find a Grave. A few months ago, I walked grave to grave and added every entry I could find. So just gonna walk a few that stood out to me really quick and give some backstories. I was able to fulfill the photo requests, but all but 2 graves here, which I assume were unmarked. This wasn't one of them, but this one stood out to me and I did a little research. It says Samuel O. Pease died in Andersonville Prison, August 21 of 1864, age 30 years, a member of COE 19th Regiment Maine Volunteers. That would be the Civil War. The inscription says, "Will not weep for our brother deceased. Our loss is his infinite gain. His soul out of prison released and freed from its bodily chain." So did a little research. Samuel Pease is not actually buried here. This is what's called a cenotaph, which is basically a memorial in a cemetery where the person is not actually buried. He is buried in Andersonville Prison in Georgia. When I first saw it, I thought it was unusual because Civil War era, it would be very hard to move a body that far across the country. So he was one of the first people buried in that cemetery. He would have been, of course, fighting for the North, the Union Army, and he was a prisoner of war in the Confederacy. So RIP, Mr. Samuel Pease. I'll actually walk over to a few other ones that I was unable to find stones for. I did go ahead and add their family plot onto Find a Grave, just so there's some picture there, some kind of memorial that they once lived. Photo evidence. So it's a very peaceful, very well kept up rural cemetery. One of the things I was unable to find was for a grave for Zenas Maddox. However, this is his parents. If I remember right, he died around 1909, somewhere in that era. But this is Horace Maddox and his wife Mary, who were the parents of Zenas Maddox. As you can see, their family plot has more than enough room for several other graves. So I would assume Zenas and his wife are buried somewhere here to the left of his actual parents' grave. And the other one that I was unable to find, I can walk right over. It's not very far at all from the Maddox plot. Just enjoying the scenery on this beautiful June day. This is the gravesite of the Cunningham family. So you have Fred, 1857 to 1929, and his wife Sarah, also known as Sadie E. Cunningham. She lived 1864 to 1923. And the grave I was unable to find was their infant daughter, Hazel. If I remember correctly, she died less than a year old, or maybe it was a few years old, but she was definitely an infant essentially still. And I'm unable to find her grave. I assume it's probably here somewhere with her parents. She died quite a while before them. Sadly, I looked it up on newspapers.com, and Sadie, her mother, had actually committed suicide years later as a result of ongoing persistent chronic illness. So I had a lot of fun recording this cemetery. It's a very, very old one. And you also have some recent burials in the far back. So it spans probably from the mid-1800s till now. And it's just a great old cemetery.